Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Underdog Eats, the Underdog Views. And I watched T2 Trainspotting with tagline Face your past, choose your future. And I have my It's fucking raw t-shirt, yeah, for Gordon Ramsay. Bought at Fred Hats. Fred Hats. There. I know you can't see it from this distance. I've done an unboxing for it, so go to my unboxing video. I think it's number 25. But I watched, like I said, T2 Trainspotting. Apparently this movie was 20 years after. Well, this is 21 years after the first movie. But the movie itself, in the movie, it's 20 years after the last movie. So let's just start with this movie, shall we? I have to say at first, this movie is a bit less heavy than the last movie. But let's just start. Oh, we're on the ground, and we see a treadmill right in front of us. We see a pair of legs coming on the treadmill, start to run, and the camera goes up. We then get some different shots of the Netherlands, of my country. Why, I don't know. Because as far as I know, there's Scottish, so why do we get some shots from the Netherlands? Specifically, apparently, Amsterdam. Now back to the treadmill, and we see the back of the guy. Now we see his back, and the camera zooms a bit out and goes to the right, and it shows us that there are more people, all in a row, all running. Probably not like this, but all running on treadmills. And again, we get some shots, in between. And now we see a very, very blurry Renton. It's from his younger, from the first movie, when he was still young. Very blurry, but it becomes slowly clearer while we get to see this guy, on the treadmill. His face, Renton. His face, Renton. And every time we see Renton, it's a bit more clear until we see him smiling. We see him walking with a bag and a smile on his face. But we get basically this shot, And then the guy suddenly he slips or something, and he falls and he hits the mirror behind him, because there was kind of a pillar with covered with mirror, and he hit that mirror and he laid on the ground, and everybody looked at him, and the woman next to him, she stopped with running, but she didn't do anything, except for looking. And we're gonna leave it at that, because if you don't know what's gonna happen next, watch the movie yourself. Well, I can say what it says here. After 20 years abroad, Mark Renton returns to Scotland and reunites with his old friends Sick Boy Spot and Backby. Well, if I was him, I wouldn't be coming face to face with Backby, because he is trying to kill you. He's legit trying to kill him. Because if you haven't seen the last movie, basically Renton stole $16,000 and run off with it. They all had made a heroin deal for £60,000. For £60,000, and they were gonna split it, 4,000 each. And he planned this a bit ahead, and then he stole the money when they were all sleeping in a hotel room. But he left Spot $4,000, but because Spot was the junkie back then, where all that money went. Yeah, Bagby, he was actually in prison, and he had a long needle, and he asked one of his fellow inmates, okay, can you do small stab, just here and here, just small, just a bit of blood. No, what does this guy do? Straight through and came out the back. Then he had, do you want another one? No, you hit my fucking liver. Das cunt. I fucking loved it, and then Bagby went to the hospital because he had 2 puncture wounds in his fucking side. And there was a guard with in his room, and he wanted to chain Bagby to his bed because the guy had to take a shit apparently. So Bagby said, where can I go? You see all these tubes in me, I have nowhere to go. So he said, okay, for this one time, So he went without chaining Bagby, and Bagby just unplugged every tube that was inside of him. He went out of his room, and then in the hallway, a guy asked if he was alright, and he just gave him, a headbutt, and the guy, fell to the ground, and he dragged him off and dressed as the guy. Apparently, the guy was carrying some blood transfer product, so it's just maybe or blood, or maybe an organ that the guy was carrying. And if it was an organ, he was there with, he was there basically in a hurry, because that thing has to be inside of a human within a couple of minutes. So I don't know. Well, maybe that's hard, but if it, no, still, I think even if it's a piece of liver, it should be inside of a human, within a couple of minutes. But either way, that. So there's big chance that one patient died due to Bagby. This movie was more comedic. The last movie was really about the life of the boys and their struggle with heroin. Well, some still struggle with some drugs in the movie, but that movie was a bit more heavy. In comparison with this one was just a bit more light-hearted, let's say. It was still a good movie. I enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed the movie. I can say that, yeah, I enjoyed this movie. With the last one, I kind of enjoyed this movie, but it's hard to say, oh, I enjoyed this movie while, we see 4 lads struggling with heroin addictions. 5 lads, because one died, apparently. No, 4. Back he was clean. So, 4 lads, struggling with heavy heroin addictions, If you have a heroin addiction, obviously, seek fucking help, dude. Because, no, just, no, do normal and smoke some weed. No. If you want to do drugs, smoke then some weed. Don't do fucking heroin or cocaine or can get ketamine, whatever how you call it in English actually. Horse tranquilizers, shit like that. Don't use shit like that. Don't do shit like that, If you want to do drugs, do weed. You probably get the munchies, so buy some food. So, the worst thing that you can get are the munchies. Or a bit sleepy, and you're gonna sleep in your bed, But don't smoke and drive, Don't do that. But I probably can smoke and drive because, I don't get fucking stoned. But don't smoke and drive, don't drink and drive. And don't just drink in occasion, not as an everyday drinker, This movie gets a 4 out of 5. It was just a good movie. Leave likes, recommend a good Scottish movie down below in the comment section. Subscribe to the channel, come join Discord. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for Rocket Man. Yes, we're gonna watch Rocket Man, the movie about Elton John and also practical magic. And we're gonna also finish the Twilight Zone, well, the first season of it. If you want to see those, subscribe to the channel because they're definitely coming. Leave likes. I'll see you guys tomorrow.